on my mind. Could you cease on my mind, don't erupt. At times I feel I can't get enough, but I sip a double cup, then I spin a couple bucks. Sending out some love to my blood, to my girl, to my buds, to the homie up above.
Welcome to Crunkhead is Live. How are we doing today, folks? Oh, wait, wrong show. Shit. Anyways, folks, how's it going? It's MCU'S Bleeding Edge here, live Wednesday night, discussing the 2009 horror comedy film, Zombieland. That's right, Zombieland. How are we doing, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, of course, we have on the panel with us Mr. Andres, the pop culture guy, a.k.a. 60-Minute Mans. Say hi, Andres.
Hi. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk about Zombieland.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
That's all
and
I
of
got.
course, that's all he's got, people. It's all he's got.
That's what I got.
He was 62nd man that time.
Yeah.
Anyways, we also have on the panel tonight, grinding it out on the panel, my True Knowledge co-host, Mr. Jeff S. True Knowledge. How we doing, Jeff?
I'm ready to rock and roll, baby. Let's get it.
He's ready to rock and roll. You heard that, people. Rock and roll right here. All right. So, like I said, we're going to be talking and discussing Zombieland, which came out October 2nd, 2009, and is a film directed by Ruben Fletcher. Ruben Fletcher, you might know as the director, of course, of the first Venom film. He also directed the Rocket Man movie that Taron Egerton was in about Elton John. He also directed that film. But I absolutely love Ruben Fletcher. I think he's a great director.
Oh.
And
no. This director did not direct Rocket Man. He directed Uncharted. Dexter Fletcher is the one that directed Rocket Man. Just gonna correct you.
All right. Yeah. So Uncharted. Sorry, folks. Sorry, I messed up there. Anyways, he still has directed shit. So,
yeah.
Anyways, so he is just a really great director. Really enjoy him, and I think that definitely Zombieland is probably his best movies to date. Both films are great. Great ensemble cast. Just great writing too. I mean, Rhett and Warnick were the two writers on the film. And they actually came back with a subsequent sequel that came out exactly 10 years later. Are probably some of the best writers, I think. They had so many great films that they made in the early to late 2000s, 2010s, the teens. They were just a really great writing team. So I hopefully we'll get to see more from them again eventually because they were just great. But this movie actually was made for $23.6 million in 2009. Which is pretty interesting. And so I was kind of looking at that thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, only $23.6 million for that big cast at the time. Because if you think about it, Emma Stone was pretty popular at the time because she had just done Superbad. Abigail Breslin was really well known for doing, of course, Little Miss Sunshine. And then Woody Harrelson, Cheers, and pretty much any film he did throughout the 90s, Natural Born Killers, White Man Can't Jump. I mean, he was a big, he was still a pretty big, I think, prominent person at that time, too. So I was really surprised that this had such a low budget. Yes, Jeff?
I think if you look back at where they all were at, Emma Stone was coming off of Superbad, right? Like, before that was pretty much her big film. So this really catapulted her, right? Like, this was Jesse Eisenberg's breakout movie. Like it was. So like, it was all perfect timing. I'm sure Woody Harrelson probably made the most money out of all the four different actors. I don't know what you guys think, but like, I think he probably made the most.
Well, I mean, Bill Murray being in this movie too, I think he probably took a pretty penny for his little minor role in the film too, as well.
That's
so
true.
I'm thinking that majority of that was probably those two characters. But it was shocking that those other three cast members were paid so little. At this time, because I mean they were rising stars at the time, so I was just surprised by that little amount that it cost to make this movie. Because if you look at the movie, I mean, even now it's 14 years old now. I mean, looking at it, watching it, I was like, I can't believe this movie is 14 years old. It does not look it. The visuals on it are so well done. all the practical effects are so well done too.
It's honestly cyber. It's a lot of it is just really basic, stripped down filmmaking with like a lot of slow motion and stuff like that, and whatnot, and wide angle lenses and stuff like that and whatnot. But it looks really good. But they did really good with their money. That's 23. That's a small budget, and I'm not sure what was the box office total.
102.4 million.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It made a great profit. You know, that's the reason why it, like a subsequent sequel was talked about right after the film had come out. Then they decided to try to do the series, which is what you're using as your logo behind you. And, you know, they actually, you know, of course, it took 10 years to get the sequel, but I mean, that one had a significantly higher budget. It was doubled. It was 42.3 to 42.6 for that film. So, I mean, a lot huger budget on that one, but still at 23 to 6 for 2009, that just seems really low to me for 2009. That's all. That's what I was getting at was I think that for 2009, I think that sounds like a pretty measly budget to me, especially when there were so many films around that time that were coming out that were 50, 100, $150 million films. So that's why I was surprised that it was made for so little. But yeah, still great box office return, 102.4 million. I thought that was great. It was a huge success in the theaters. You know, everyone, I really haven't heard too many people say they hated it or disliked it or thought it was horrible. A lot of people suggest that this is one of the best zombie films they've seen in the last decade. So I think that it's a testament to its time that with such a short film time too as well, you know, at an hour and a half, it got so much in to that little time frame. Yes, it was R-rated. And just all around a really great film. All right. So, I mean, of course, like I said before, this has Woody Harrelson in it, Jesse Eisenberg, Abigail Breslin, and Emma Stone. This definitely, I agree with you, Jeff, that this film definitely helped catapult Jesse Eisenberg to become more popular than he was. Because prior to this, he was in that film Cursed by Wes Craven. And that didn't do too well at the box office, but it has grabbed a huge cult following now ever since it came out. And I think Jesse Eisenberg was good in it. I thought he did a good job. I liked what he did with it. I thought him and Milo Vigilante, how they encountered each other in that film, were really funny. And but yeah, I think Eisenberg has a lot more talent than a lot of people think. And I loved his version of Lex Luthor. I loved that crazy kind of interesting concept on Lex Luthor in Batman versus Superman. So I was looking forward to seeing more of that. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of people didn't like it. I don't really fucking care. So anyways, so since it's been so long since you saw it, Sir Jeff, what was your thoughts, you know, right after watching it? Like, holy shit, I forgot about this movie.
Just that it was sort of a very niche-y film for that time period. You know, like it's like I wouldn't even know how to categorize it. It's like a drama horror. It's like a horror comedy like kind of, you know, deal or whatever, whatnot. Like, you know, like it's not even that funny really. I'm not even sure what you would call it. What do they describe it at?
It's a horror comedy.
Horror comedy. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Bill Murray's great in it. I mean, it's unfortunate he gets killed off as quickly as he does because he's just like outstanding. He steals the show when he pops in there. But I just love Woody Harrelson. I love him in anything. And Emma Stone is fine as fuck, man. Like, I'm sorry, but Jesse Eisenberg's character in that movie is such a weak ass little pussy. I would have hit that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real. I would have told Woody Harrelson or whatever, whatnot. I would have been like, bro, I'll be there in 10 minutes to go like build the fort or whatever, whatnot, and everything. And I would have handled my business. But that's just me. So don't be surprised if the Jesse Eisenberg character gets the fucking Danny Special Olympics award by the end of the review.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Just for that scene, though.
Okay.
No, Cyber. I thought it was like you said, it looked great. You know, I watched it on a couple different devices, you know, and the color looked great. The intro is so cool, like how they have all the gore and everything and whatnot and all that, and like they just kind of like freeze frame all these like zombie kills and shit like that and whatnot. It's a really interesting movie. It's really kooky, like it's off the beaten path, which is really cool, So I can see why this bolstered Jesse Eisenberg's career so much, because he showed a lot of range in the movie, I thought.
All right, excellent. Andreas, now how long had it been since you had seen it, and what were your thoughts on after watching it, like for the first time in a while?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty young. I saw this movie so many times on TV, so I'm very familiar with this film. Last time, not today's rewatch. I think last time it was like last year, maybe 2 years ago. But I rewatched it today, just because. I mean, it's very familiar for me. Like I seen the opening, I seen the Bill Murray cameo. I mean, that's the most iconic thing with the movie. But yeah, I love this movie. I mean, you have to understand. Like, I'm very surprised. Like, people haven't discussed this, but this was the decade when the zombies were getting popular. Like, this is a year before The Walking Dead happened. The how you say it, the actors we have here. This is their transition of their careers soon to be bigger. That's why they this was low budget, because their salary wasn't too expensive. Like, I mean, remember, Emma Stone wasn't yet in bigger films like Easy A, and then of course the Spider-Man films, the Amazing films yet. So she was still like a rising star. So, and same thing with Abigail. Was it Breslin, the young actress from Little Miss Sunshine? Like, yeah, she came out from that, but when you start getting big, your salary doesn't get bigger if you have consistent like hits, like Woody Harrelson has. So, but yeah, but besides that, it's their traditional career, like how you say, between their rising star stuff, and same thing with Exenberg. Like, this was the year before Social Network, so like this and the Social Network like just catapulted him into big star. Okay. I know you don't like Social Network. I know you, Cyber. Oh my god. I never. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna discuss Social Network, but you know what I mean. But yeah, this is a great horror comedy. I mean, it's like Shaun of the Dead. I mean, but different. Shaun of the Dead is a British comedy movie. Horror. And this is for us. Is a horror
That's
comedy.
true. It does have some like Shaun of the Dead vibes.
Yeah. And what makes it great? I mean, first of I cannot believe Cyber didn't bring this, but the writers that write this, they're great. They're the ones that did the Deadpool movies. They just are so good at just the comedy, the pop culture stuff, the references, like and it's so clever of like the rules, like the rules of surviving the apocalypse, because this is before we had anything like zombie apocalypse survival guide, like the in pop
I read
culture.
World War Z back in the day, back like way before then. I read World War Z. I read those books back in the day.
No, yeah, no. The idea of like rules and like rules to follow to survive zombie apocalypse, that was not yet in the zeitgeist of pop culture, and this movie kind of was ahead of that. So that was the cool neat thing about Columbus and his like rule book and whatnot. Like, that was really impressive. And it's great. It's such a tight film. It paces well, and just it's a very durable ride. And if you're afraid of getting into horror, this is the movie you can get into horror and like, oh no, this is awesome. Like, it's gory, but it's funny. It's action packed. I mean, it's great. It just balanced all that so well. And same thing with the sequel. I like the sequel, but I think the first one is much stronger than the sequel. But I just think the casting is great. Like,
They usually are.
Well, sometimes. I mean, Aliens is like the best. I like Aliens over the first Alien. Yeah, that's my opinion. But anyway, so yeah, overall, I'm excited to talk about this movie. It's one of the best zombie movies. But behind
there you go,
28
folks. Return of the 60-minute man. And the reason why I didn't mention they wrote Deadpool is because I had to leave some shit for you guys to say. I can't say it all.
Oh, okay.
I gotta give you guys some opportunities too, sir. I don't take all the glory.
No.
That's one of the core concepts of moderation, Andres.
Well, I was just surprised he read like
Ah,
the viewers know who the writers are. They know they're from Deadpool. I'm just saying.
Okay, Andre. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
Anyways, folks, thank you so much. All right. So we're going to play the trailers for you guys so that you can get reacquainted with Zombieland before we allow 60-Minute Man to go 60 minutes. And so, yeah, we're going to get into this. So, Sir Jeff, when you have those ready.
Planet Earth, home to over 6 billion people. Today, our very existence is threatened by epidemics, climate change, and dwindling resources. But those are the least of our problems. Welcome to Zombieland.
My mother always told me, someday you'll be good, son. I mean, I don't think she should have guessed that something would be zombie killer. What do you think? Zombie killer week?
Close, but no cigar. Zombie killer went to Mississippi and another.
Gotta enjoy the little things.
The video is kind of lagging a little bit.
Zombieland.
You guys want some beer? Yes. Yeah.
One more.
Welcome to Zombieland. It's like the greatest collection of nightmares.
Gotta enjoy the little things.
I'm not easy to get along. And I'm sensitive you're a wuss.
We're actually one of the few non-zombies left because we always play it safe.
We gotta take hostage by 12-year-old.
Little girls mature way faster than boys.
My sister and I would do whatever it takes to survive.
I've cried like that since I can't. My mother always told me, someday you'll be good, son. I don't think she should have guessed that something would be zombie killer.
Time to nut up or shut up.
Oh, I love this song.
How about we play the quiet game?
I've actually been meaning to ask you.
You never play the quiet game.
Your sister, she's single, right?
You ever read that book, she's just not that into you.
What do you think? You guys want some beer?
Yes.
All right. Let me fix the audio. All right. All right, Cyber.
There we go. Good job, sir. All right, folks. There you go. A little reintroduction to the Zombieland film for you guys. So what did you guys think of the trailers? Was there anything that stuck out to you that maybe wasn't in the film, or do you feel that pretty much everything in those trailers was in the film? I wasn't too sure because I didn't notice anything new or different that wasn't in the film, but I just want to get your guys' opinions on the trailers. So I want to start with you, Jeffrey.
No, I mean they're pretty bare bones. Like you really, based off those trailers, you really you can't pick up the vibe of the film at all. You really can't. So that's crazy. It doesn't translate at all. Like really, like to me, you know what I'm saying? Like the level of the whole flavor of the film that makes it work the way it does over an hour and a half or whatever and whatnot. It's not really there, right there in those trailers. That's just up to me, my opinion.
Sir Andres, same question, Sal.
Yes. I just seeing those two trailers. They pretty much. I mean, they didn't reveal like the big stuff, like was it Woody Harrelson's character's son that was killed, and then of course the Bill Murray counting. So they kept it really good, from the trailers, because like we see them walking into Bill Murray's house, but you don't know that. So it's good. So it's a good. I like those two trailers. It's always tough to not reveal things in your trailers, and like like come on, like the Terminator films are so bad at this. They reveal two major spoilers from their movies. That's Salvation and Genesis did that. But these trailers didn't spoil anything. So they just show you that this is a comedy, and then it's very fast paced, and you have zombies. So that's all you need to know from Zombieland. So that's good. Besides the Amber Heard thing with the bathroom, I was surprised they include that. But yeah, whatever. Besides that, the hooker, that was only like, because if they did the Red Band trailer, like of course you're going to see the hookers, topless. So it was kind of funny that she was covered in this trailer. So, but yeah, besides that, they didn't reveal anything. So it's a good trailer.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so basically getting into the movie. So basically it starts off with, Jesse Eisenberg, aka Columbus, basically doing voiceover, explaining kind of, what's going on in the world. That, basically a virus happened, caused people to start turning into zombies, and basically the zombies took over the world, and there's very few survivors left. And he basically explains that, and then we get that great little beginning footage getting into the film that Jeff had mentioned earlier, where it's all the slow-mo, all the crazy killings and stuff like that, which was really fun. And I think that was really well done. I like how they made sure to make it seem very 3D like and all that kind of stuff, which was really fun. And I really enjoyed that intro section there, especially with how Columbus is telling the story, how he's explaining his rules and stuff like that. So once the credits end up rolling, that's when we get kind of our first see of Columbus, and he is at a gas station, and basically he's looking to use a bathroom, and he says one of his rules, is avoid bathrooms. Of course, he talks about cardio, how that's his number one rule. Seatbelts is another one. And basically kind of we get kind of a gist of kind of some of his rules there in that beginning sequence, where He ends up encountering a zombie. They chase him around the car. He does cardio. He gets in the car, goes driving. One jumps onto the car, and he basically crashes it. The zombie goes flying through the window, and thankfully, because he had a seatbelt on, it saved him. So basically, kind of gives you kind of a Q&A on how to battle zombies in Zombieland. So once he crashes the car, it's not usable anymore because the window's gone, and I guess he smashed it too hard to use it anymore. So he has to basically go on foot, and that's basically when we get introduced to Tallahassee. So before we move, talk a little bit more about Tallahassee, what were you guys' thoughts on the beginning? Kind of, that voiceover, the intro credits, kind of getting an introduction to Columbus, and what were your thoughts kind of on that little section of the film? Starting with you, Andreas.
Well, yes. Yeah, the opening is awesome. I mean, great pace, great, communication to the audience of Zombieland. What you're gonna expect for this, zombie apocalypse. I mean, at this point, you had the Resident Evil films, 28 Days franchise, and of course, Shaun of the Dead. What kind of creative way you can speed up your audience about the zombie apocalypse that everyone knows? And this was really good opening. Almost good as the Dawn of the Dead remake opening, when the nurse just wakes up, and then everything's just going to hell during that time. The opening. This is great. You're seeing the apocalypse, and then seeing Columbus, how how he is as a character. He's really like very introvert, like very weak in certain situations, but like he's very knowledgeable, like true knowledgeable over here, Mr. JFS, as himself, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna give you these notes on how to survive the zombie apocalypse, and it's cool, like, yeah, the fatties are gonna die soon. It's like, oh my god, there's no way they're gonna fight zombie apocalypse. And yeah, the tone is so great in this sequence. Like, it tells you right away that it's gonna be funny. Like, come on, like, I was laughing so hard when, like, the woman trying to get in the car, and these kids, the small, like, girls are the zombies, and like she has to get out of there before she gets killed by the truck. Oh my god, it's just so funny. Well, it's one of the best iconic openings of any film. Like, this is just so good. I mean, the music, I don't know what's the music that's playing around this movie, but it's really great. Just sets the mood and the tone of what kind of Zombieland is about. It's similar to Deadpool's opening, where it just is self-aware on what movie it is. Deadpool was self-aware being a superhero movie. Zombieland is like self-aware as a zombie movie, which I love. So yeah, so it's a great opening. I never get tired of it. It's like, just hooks you right away for the film, and that's good. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about Woody Harrelson's character, because he's the best.
Thank you, Sir Andres. So, Jeff, same question, sir. Your thoughts on that beginning intro?
Well, it's definitely for its time, and even for today, it's definitely different. I mean, it's got its own thing going on. Like, it really does. It's not your traditional intro to any kind of film, especially a horror film. Really interesting way of going about it. It really sets the tone that you're gonna get a different kind of zombie genre film here, right? Like, like, that's what I got from it. Andre's really kind of filled in most of the stuff that I was going to say, but mostly I just really enjoyed how it's shot, because again, it's not, there's not a lot of digital effects there. It's all pretty much like non-digital, for the most part, I believe. So I mean, that's probably where they saved a lot of money right there. It's very organic, the horror, and like the blood and whatnot and everything, right? Like, it's very organic. I could see how some people would find it scary, even, probably. I don't, but some people probably would. But yeah, it's a great intro. It really establishes the story. And they do a really great job of internalizing everything between the four main characters, right from jump when they establish, the four of them together. Or, we haven't gotten that far, but when we meet Columbus, meeting Woody Harrelson's character. And I love how nobody ever actually reveals their real name.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. All right. So like I said, that's when we get to him coming across Tallahassee. Tallahassee, of course, is driving Cadillac. He's got the number 3 written on the side. And they approach each other. He gets out of his Cadillac, and Tallahassee gets out of the Cadillac, and then, of course, Columbus he puts up a motorcycle and gets behind it, which I don't know how that really saves him very much, because there's not much to that motorcycle that he had there. So I thought that was pretty funny. But he puts it up, and he's got his gun, and they're kind of looking at each other, and then, of course, Columbus puts out his finger like he's thumbing, and he's like, and Tallahassee's like, come on. So he gets basically the truck with him, and they basically kind of set some ground rules and start their journey. During this journey, we learn a little bit about Tallahassee. Basically, Columbus tells us a little bit about kind of like some of his things, like he's a real badass at killing zombies, that he's got a Twinkie fetish, and, pretty much, gives us kind of like he's a hothead, basically, and he likes to blow up steam. But then that's also when we get a great kind of little backstory to Columbus himself, and he basically gives us the story about his first encounter with a zombie, and that happens that's when we see Amber Heard come in. And I was like, out of all the people like rewatching this, going, holy shit, what a great role for her, because she is literally a zombie in real life, and so glad he kills her. And so, like, basically we get kind of that little story that, the hot neighbor from across the way that he's got the hots for ends up becoming a zombie, and he has to take her out. And that's kind of like, we learned that's like his first encounter with it, and that's when he decides he's got to try to make it to Columbus, Ohio, to see if his parents are okay. So we get that backstory, which was fun, and basically goes back to the present with Columbus and Tallahassee, and basically kind of them making the way and having kind of funny conversations. Tallahassee kind of getting fed up with some of the things Columbus is saying a little bit. And basically that's when they're making their way. Still, they come across things. They come across this a grocery store, basically, I think is what it is. They go inside, and they, of course, take out a few zombies that are in there, a couple big boys in there. And that's when they come across Little Rock and Wichita. And Little Rock and Wichita are pretending that one of them's bitten by a zombie and dying, and that they, need help with assisting with the kill. And that's when they end up double crossing them and stealing their weapons, and drive off with their car. And they're just like, how could we be bamboozled like this, basically, type of deal. And they basically have to start huffing it on foot again. We kind of get them showing Wichita and Little Rock making the way in the car, saying it's just me and you guys, and basically then it goes back, of course, to the other two as they're making their way, and basically they finally find another car, which happens to be a Humvee, which was pretty funny. They come up onto Tallahassee, comes up onto it. He opens the door, and there's two arms there stuck to the wheel, but there's nothing with it. It's just the arms, and he takes them off, and of course he spray paints another 3 on the 3, or on the truck, I should say, and basically they got transportation again. Let's see here. So they get to that point where they get the new car.
They find the guns.
Get their way and come across.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I mean they grab they find a whole bunch of stuff in that sequence along with the car, and basically that's when they start making their way again, and they come across Wichita and Little Rock again. Basically, they have created like an ambush, and basically like end up taking over the new car because somehow they wrecked the other car somehow, and so they basically overpower them again and take this car, but they let them come along with them this time, and so now they have become like kind of a big family. So before we move on past that, what are you guys' thoughts kind of on that section of the film? Kind of getting to know more about Columbus's backstory, like his first encounter with zombie. What were your thoughts kind of on a little bit of backstory of Tallahassee and himself? Kind of that whole situation where they get taken over twice by these two girls, and just kind of your thoughts on that section of the film. This time we'll start with you, Jeff.
Well, the fact that they catch him twice like that just shows how clever they are. It makes them more formidable, like in the film. You know what I mean? Like as characters. You know what I'm saying? Like and watching them become like a family unit and everything and whatnot, and actually have fun together is really cool. It's those. So those are probably some of the best scenes in the movie for me. Is kind of in the meat, like when they're kind of like blending together. But I know we're not getting into that yet. But basically, no. I enjoyed the camaraderie between Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson. I think that should be accredited and brought up. They definitely work well together. Their characters flush well together. Seeing the whole thing with the neighbor girl and everything and whatnot. What you said that was who, Andres?
Amber Heard.
That's Amber Heard from back in the day. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was pretty intense. I mean, hey, like I can see why this was rated R because I mean the gore and the violence is like, there's a lot of shooting and like guns and whatnot and everything, right? I mean, it's out there. It's pretty deep. But no, I enjoyed it. I like Abigail Breslin. I don't know what she's doing now, but I always liked her, and I like Emma Stone, and I like all the actresses that are in this film.
All right, thank you. Same question, Mr. Pop Culture Guy.
Sure. Yeah, I like the introduction of Tallahassee. He's a great character. I mean, Woody Harrelson is just an awesome actor. He knows how to do comedy stuff. I agree. I just don't know how he survived zombie apocalypse with Columbia's. I find it so hilarious again with this like talkative introvert. It's just funny, especially when he gives him a drink. Just like Columbia's wastes the drink. He just didn't drink. He's like slush it, and it's like, I mean, it's a smart thing. Why you want to drink while you're in a zombie apocalypse? I will admit that. That's actually smart. But anyway, but yeah, that's a great introduction with those two. They such a great banter for each other. That's really good, and just like he learns how Tallahassee handles the zombie apocalypse versus how Columbus handles it. It's like really good, character development. So it's really nice. Yeah, then meeting the two girls, Wichita and Little Rock. It's iconic. I mean, them getting tricked by twice is funny. My favorite line is when they get get bamboozled again by those two when they're in the hallway, and of course, Tallahassee says like she's right behind us in the back, and of course she is. And before before he had to hand in the guns, Tallahassee doesn't want to give his gun, and then she shoots it, and he's like, "Please don't kill me with my gun, please." It's like, that was that right away. I that got me to like this movie, and that's just the way, just the way Tallahassee just like became a man baby. He's like, oh my god, come on, dude, you're a man. Come on, I know the kid was having down, but come on. But yeah, I was shocked that we got like the movie's not that long, but like the fact that we got the four characters like right away, it's really impressive. and it's so good because the four actors, just have chemistry right away. They slowly become family, as Jeff said before, uh, and you can see that for real. But it's just like they haven't yet like pulled down their walls yet because with the fake names. I like how in this film you use your fake names because you don't want to get too attached to these people because you don't know they will die in a zombie. That's really cool. That's something that's really neat about this movie. Is just like how realistic it could be in a zombie apocalypse, and I think that's one thing I like about these characters. Yeah, the what else? Yeah, Amber Heard. I agree with you, Saber. I'm happy she's dead. I mean, good. Thank goodness she's a zombie. We never have to see her again. I mean, sadly, we have to see her in DC, but whatever. But yeah. Hopefully, zombies are in Aquaman 2, and they can eat her there. In the trench, maybe the trench could probably eat her. That's the legal way. But yeah, overall, I love this part. It's awesome. Like good, like the pacing's great. Like that's the thing about zombie movies. Sometimes they can start slow. I mean, for good reasons. I mean, come on. And if you start too fast, this is like here. This movie just paced so well, and like especially you getting introduced to these four characters right away, and putting them together is really good. And like you understand who these characters are right away when they get together. So, but yeah, I'm very impressive. So let's move on to the next one.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Good job. Good job. Good job, everyone. Oh, fantastic. I just got to say, up to this point, to me, I feel the film is definitely very horror comedy to me. And, there are some dramatic elements into it, but I don't feel that overshadows the comedy in this film because there really is a lot of comedy, especially with all the different zombie kills and stuff like that. They're pretty funny. They're not like like even though they're gory, they're still not like let's say a more serious zombie movie like 28 Days Later or like The Walking Dead or something like that. That's like more of a serious type of zombie film. Most definitely, I think you could tell there was a whole bunch of comedy element to this. And Ruben Fletcher even said that, when he was making this film, that he wanted it to be very comedy. He didn't want to make it like a serious zombie film, like a horror film. He wanted to make a horror comedy, and that's what he aimed for. And like as you mentioned before, Andreas, how Rhett and Reckner, who co-wrote and helped or wrote the Deadpool films, that's their number one thing that they're good at. They're good at writing comedy, self-awareness, stuff like that, and that's exactly what this film brought in this beginning of this film. So I agree there with you. All right, folks. So basically, after the girls take over the car again, that's when we get a backstory on them before the apocalypse happened, and they've been con artists from the get go. They've been trying to get to California before Zombieland happened, and basically shows them that they did a scheme where Emma Stone pretends she loses a engagement ring, and Mr. Mike White pops up in this sequence here, who thought he was perfect for that role. All that those that don't know who Mike White he was in School of Rock. He also was the writer of School of Rock. He also helped write the film Orange County. He's actually a pretty big comedic writer that's been around for a while. But he owns the gas station there where she's pretending she lost the ring, and she says basically, if you find it, I'll give you a reward. Here's my information. Give you a call, okay? And that's when Abigail Breslin comes in, and she finds it, and basically, says, oh, is there a reward for finding it, basically? And so he ends up giving them money versus him actually getting money back. So this great scam that they picked up there to make money to be able to go to California. And so we get that kind of feedback on kind of what their past was and what their backstory was. And so basically goes back to them in the present. And, they basically all agree, okay, we'll travel together to blah, blah, blah. They're like, okay. So they keep on traveling, and that's when they finally get to LA. They go to the Hollywood area. We get kind of a great sequence there, which shows Grauman's Chinese theater and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, after they get there, like, oh, maybe we should like, stash out, somewhere for a night. And they're like, okay. So they end up grabbing a star maps to see which celebrity house they should go and stay in. And so after they get the star map, they're like, figure out where to go. And that's when Tallahassee goes, I know the exact place that we need to go. This is the best place, the greatest actor ever. And they're like, oh, who? And like, they end up going to Bill Murray's house. And I'm just like, of all the people they can pick, let's get Bill Murray. And, he absolutely loves Bill Murray. Tallahassee's in love with Bill Murray. And I think he's made the best movies ever. And of course, we get after they get to the house, they go in, and that's where we kind of find out that Wichita says he goes right to her funny bone, and basically they end up start kind of taking over the place and seeing what they can do there and stuff like that. And all of a sudden it cuts and it goes to a bedroom where somebody's lying down in a bed. And you think it's kind of a zombie going on here, and all of a sudden, it gets up out of bed and starts going towards where all the noises and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, walks in is zombie Bill Murray, and all of a sudden he's like, "Gotcha!" And basically, he's pretending to be a zombie so he can go out to the stores and stuff like that. Because zombies will attack other zombies; they just won't. So he's like, "I act like a zombie so I can go do stuff." He's like, "I went to the golf course the other day and hit 19 or whatever." And he's like, I saw what's his name recently, freaking I forget what was it, Anthony Kiedis or something.
Eddie Van Halen.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's like, he was a zombie, and basically explains his get up. And they're like, oh my god. And then of course that's when Tallahassee goes into freaking geek mode. It's like, I know you probably hear some stuff, but I love you. I think you're the best actor ever, and I love your movies, all of them. I've seen them all a million times, like that.
I've watched your movies since I started masturbating, but not coincidentally or whatever.
Yep. And so he's like, oh, okay, nice, thank you, And they're all of a sudden goes to Columbus and Little Rock, and they're in his theater room watching a movie, which happens to be Ghostbusters. And they're watching, and of course Columbus kind of asks, "Is your sister single? What kind of guys does she like?" And she's like, she likes bad boys, and he throws the popcorn bucket on the floor to act like he's badass. Which was really funny. But then it goes back to those three, and they're doing a scene from Ghostbusters. Bill Murray has a vacuum cleaner, and Emma Stone says being Janine, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, there's a ghost! Oh God, I need some assistance from the Ghostbusters." And basically they're acting a scene, and after they do that, they're like, you should play a prank on them, and it's like, okay. He's like, he puts his wig back on and goes, and he's like, oh, and out of nowhere, Columbus freaking gets up, thinks he's a real zombie, and shoots Bill Murray. Oh my god. I literally, the first time I saw this movie and that happened, I was like, you're effing kidding me. Seriously? Are you seriously here? You just killed Bill freaking Murray? I'm like, I'm like, that was the one thing I was like, at first I was like, oh my god, that is horrible, but at the same time, hilarious. And he's sitting there and he's like, my bad. And he's like dying, and then all of a sudden when he's supposed to be dying, he's like, oh, and they're all just watching, and they're like, even in death he's funny. And it goes to Wichita. She's like, my funny bone, every time he gets my funny bone. And so they kill Bill Murray, and then they take his body and throw it over the thing, and still spend the night in Bill Murray's place. Basically, they're all doing their own thing, kind of, and Wichita and Columbus start drinking wine, and basically they start to get kind of their romance going. Then we go to Little Rock and Tallahassee, and they're practicing shooting, and Tallahassee gives her some suggestions on how to shoot better. And basically, it goes back to, of course, to Columbus and Wichita, and they start dancing and they talk about their childhood and stuff like that. And that's when it kind of gets a little sentimental. And of course, during that time too, this is where we find out about Tallahassee's son, and that the whole time he's been talking about this dog, he's actually talking about his son, and the three represents his son that he keeps riding on the vehicles. And basically, unfortunately, a zombie killed his son, and he has kind of an emotional moment. He cries and stuff like that too, as well. So you get kind of your drama kind of timing in this little section of the film, which I think was really well placed, I thought. And so we get that, in Wichita and Columbus almost kissed. They get cock blocked by Tallahassee, and they all go back out to do whatever. I think it was something, and of course that's when it goes, and all of a sudden Little Rock and Wichita take off again and take the car on them. They're like, "Ah, you kidding me?" And so third time they steal a vehicle from them in this film, and you're just kind of like, "What the hell?" So before we move past that, what are everyone's thoughts on this section of the film? The whole premise of the Bill Murray house, them taking them over again, the backstory of Little Rock and Wichita, and kind of like the whole kind of dramatic section of that little part of the film. What were you guys' thoughts on all of that? And what were just your thoughts on that? Starting with you, Sir Jeff.
I thought that it was a great. They were like a great little ensemble cast together. Like they really, like they gelled really well. After they already established the rapport between Eisenberg and Harrelson, right? You then you brought them together. The Bill Murray going to the Bill Murray house deal really ties them even closer. And of course they take off to go to the stupid theme park or whatever, whatnot, where supposedly there's no zombies or whatever and whatnot. But it was good placement, the drama, the sort of emotional, tug there that they threw in there. It was good timing, and that's what preceded them. And don't forget they smoke weed too. Like, when they were like, when Bill Murray's like, what do you guys need? What do you want? Before they were doing the Ghostbuster shit, they got the hookah out and they were smoking weed. That's what they were doing. So, so no, I mean, Bill Murray was funny as fuck. Like he always is. He was hilarious. He always makes movies better. Every time he pops up, he always makes a movie better. And that's pretty much it. I'll leave it to Andres.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, Andres, your thoughts on that section of the film?
Well, first, we didn't bring up the part with the four of them crashing that Indian store. Like that was very funny. That was when Colombians and starting to like Wichita. That scene is also funny. Them just trashing that place, like because there's another running gag of enjoying the little things before they go out, and because Tallahassee just destroys things when they were trying to find the car. They were trying to find their second car before they find the Hummer one, and they see that van, and then he sees that van, and he just completely destroys that because he was so angry at what happened to them. Yeah, that was very funny. But the Indian store is also funny, but it's a important scene because that's where like the four of them start to like each other, so which is nice. Yeah. So then after that, while they were driving before they go to the Indian store, we get the little like backstory. Well, like we know the backstory that Colombians has a family over, what was it? Colombians, Idaho, right? The state but Wichita comment that it's a dead place now, it's gone, and so we had this dramatic thing that he lost his family, and in the whole movie he discovers, soon discovers that this is his family now, which is really nice. Yeah, then after that, Bill Murray house. I mean, this is the crown jewel of any movie. Like when you talk about someone, about Zombieland, Bill Murray's the thing that will pop out right away. First off, we need to bring up the Twinkie gag. One of the best things about the gag of this movie is the Twinkie gag with Tallahassee. Like, he's looking for a Twinkie. He just finds like one like coconut Twinkie, which I'm kind of surprised we have one back today. And then and then right away in the Bill Murray house, I just laughed out loud that he's trying to still find a Twinkie, still. But yeah, so then after that we get to Bill Murray, and first off, like how can you be like stupid that he's a zombie? How do you be confused with his makeup? Like he's a zombie. Like you even notice any parts falling off, what or bloody all over, come on. Like I don't know how you survive like that. I mean, you can fool the zombies. I can maybe believe that a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, it's a comedy. Whatever, you can think that. But my favorite part was when they start to react to Ghostbusters, and then you see Tallahassee wearing a Ghostbuster suit, and then in the actual proton bag, and then you see Bill Murray just wearing his like zombie get up and the vacuum. That kills me. And then the lights flicker, the lights flicker. They're thinking maybe it's a ghost. that always cracked me up. But oh my god, the little when he gets shot. I mean, when I first saw it, I was laughing dead hard when he got shot. I was like, oh my god, that is so crazy. It's like the Wallace thing in Pulp Fiction. It's like I didn't expect that, so that was really great. And yeah, and my favorite line to just other ways, like, you have any regrets? Well, Godfear. I just love that his biggest regret is doing Godfear, which is hilarious. I mean, it's true. I mean, the Godfear movies are just really awful. Anyway, and then of course they throw him off the balcony. I love they did like a funeral for Bill. That was cool. They're showing out the air like almost like he's the president of the United States. Like that was hilarious. And then of course like Columbia is just so stupid. Like how like his gun was like, what was it, like ran out and like he had to wait. Come on, man, respect Bill Murray. You shot the man. And then after that, we see the four, talking on the floor, and the reveal of the dog being the kid is really like a good payoff for the character. That's how he will help, Columbius towards the end, which is great, and it just shows humanity towards Columbius, and then it just Woody Harrelson does a good job of like conveying that in the film, and it's like. What I love about that scene is like it's funny and sad at the same time. When he picks up the money, it's so funny, but it's kind of sad. You real the scene. But yeah, overall, I mean, this section is the best of the film. I mean, Bill Murray is awesome as always. I mean, like he makes space. Like he's the best thing about Space Jam. He's the best thing in whether thing any Wes Anderson film really. I mean, come on. But yeah, he's awesome. I'm sad he died, but hey, he had the best cameo ever. It's one of the best cameos ever in the film. So, besides Matt Damon.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And on the record, I think both the Garfield movies are fucking fantastic. Love those movies. They are amazing. So Bill Murray, you did a great job, sir. Don't think you did it. You did a good job, sir. He was great as Garfield's voice. Plus, also Breckenmeyer, awesome. Love those films. I think they're fun. I think they get too much backlash on them. I think they're a lot better than what people are thinking they are, because they weren't anything supposed to be special. They were just supposed to be fun, stupid, and be about a fat animated cat. That's all they were. That's all it was. So if you were looking into it thinking there was going to be some fucking backstory or something like that, that was supposed to be something great, you might want to rethink how you watch movies, people. Oh my God. Anyways, great stuff. But yeah, the Bill Murray sequence is by far so much fun in this movie. Him cameoing was just so much fun. And the fact that, they do the little scene where they do the Ghostbusters sequence, like supposed to be like they're making their video for the TV so that people will call them for ghost investigation. and so like that was, I think, super funny, a great like little OD to them. And then of course, just the killing of him too was just like so crazy and so bizarre at the same time.
Yeah, how everybody just is chill with it, like you know what I mean, like like they just roll with it.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that they do that. I like that.
Yeah. Well, and what's fun about that scene is Emma Stone's still high from the weed, and like she thinks it's funny, but it's not. That was very funny. For when Bill was like officially dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Super funny. I mean, I think, like I said, my first reaction was when that happened. I was like,
I
I'm
know.
like, really? I'm like, what? I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, really? Because I remember specifically when they were advertising this film, Bill Murray was a big talking point for this film. And I think a lot of people thought that he was going to be in the whole movie, but he was only in that little part. So I think that was kind of false advertising a little there on their part, but that helped pull in a whole bunch of people. I mean, look, they ended up making $102 million. So I mean, that was good campaigning there, most definitely. All right, so great little sequence there. So basically, like where I left off was where they Wichita and Little Rock steal their car again. And they basically are making their way to the amusement park where supposedly are no zombies. And basically it shows them in the car, and they're it's just you and me, babe, just you and me. And they're like, okay. And of course it goes back and to Columbus and Tallahassee, and they're kind of having conversations, and and Tallahassee's trying to make Columbus feel a little better, but Columbus is like, no, I love her, I have to go after her. So they're both gonna go their own ways, and and so of course that's when Tallahassee finds another Cadillac in Bill Murray's garage, and he draws the number 3 on it again. And Columbus is going to take a motorcycle, has a whole bunch of stuff on a motorcycle. He goes to take off and flies right in the bushes. And Tallahassee kind of cracks up at him. He's like, get in. And so basically they end up making their way to go to the amusement park to follow Wichita and Little Rock, because, who knows, they could be in danger. So Little Rock and Wichita get to the amusement park. They get in, they start going around, and there's no zombies around, but they turn on the lights and stuff like that, and start riding the rides and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, when the lights all go on and the music starts going off, it gets the zombies' attentions, and they all start making their way towards the fairgrounds. And so as they're going up and stuff like that and doing the rides, they're in the ship thing that goes like this, which was a fun ride. I always loved going on that myself when I was a kid. And basically all of a sudden they see that all the zombies are starting to come, and they see that all of a sudden they're all rushing into the amusement park, and they're like, oh crap. So they get off the ride and start shooting zombies and trying to make their way to somewhere safe. They try to get in the car. They get into the car, start driving it, shooting the zombies and stuff like that, and basically end up, driving it a little bit, and then both jumping out, and it crashes into the river to kill some of the zombies. Basically, they both get up. They start running towards the inside of the amusement parks, or shooting the zombies and stuff like that, getting away from them. And they end up going over to one of the rides, which is I forget what it's called, but it's the one where you get strapped to it and it goes all the way up to the very top and drops you down. I think it was used to be called the drop zone or something like that.
Yeah.
And they get into that, and they turn it on, go all the way up. They think they're gonna be up there for a second, but then all of a sudden it starts going down, and they're going back and forth, kind of going up and down, shooting at zombies and stuff like that. And Wichita tells Little Rock, shoot the console, so it keeps us from going back down. And so she at one point ends up shooting it and stops it from going back down. They're up there stuck, and all the zombies are right down there trying to get at them and stuff like that. And that it goes back to Columbus and Tallahassee, and they have made their way to the amusement park and see that it's not zombie free. and they make their way in. And then Tallahassee all of a sudden gets into all his gear. He's got all this stuff on. He's got all this guns and stuff like that. And basically, says, "Here, I'll take the zombies away. You go get your girl." And so basically, Tallahassee goes his way, and Columbus goes his way to help the girls. And so they're still up there, and some of the zombies are trying to climb up to get them and stuff like that. And they're like trying to kick them and shoot at them and stuff like that. They start running out of ammo, and they're being attacked. They're still trying to keep them and stuff. Columbus, of course, is fighting some zombies off himself, and then of course we go to Tallahassee, and he basically starts taking out a whole bunch of zombies. He goes on some of the rides. He starts off and he like grabs onto one and twirls around and shooting a whole bunch of zombies. Then he goes on to the car ride that goes around the track and stuff like that. And it's like shooting different zombies as he's going around that, which was really fun. And basically ends up getting to a point where he gets to this little stand. He jumps in, puts 4 magazines on the counter, closes the things up, and all the zombies start swarming at this like concession stand, whatever it is. And he gets ready and he starts going to town, and he just keeps blowing and blowing and blowing away. And as it goes, pans away from him for a few moments, go back to Columbus, making his way. He finally sees where the girls are, and he's like shooting the zombies as he's going by it, and they're still having the same problem. They're kicking zombies off them, stuff like that are climbing up, and they're falling down and hitting the ground and stuff like that. And he's making his way. Then he goes back all of a sudden to Tallahassee. He has killed all the zombies around the little shop, which it looked like there had to been at least 30 or 40 zombies, and he had those 4 magazines, and I'm like, how the hell is that even possible? And so he's taking them out, and he's all like, yeah, he's like, badass. And he gets up on top of the building, and he looks out to see where Columbus and stuff they are, and he sees, and he's like, you go get him. And Columbus finally gets there, and he all of a sudden, the one zombie that's still left, he comes up, of course, is a clown. Of course, he has a fear of clowns. But then he ends up not being able to fill his shotgun, and he goes, grabs the funny hammer thing that you hit to whack the stupid bell thing, and ends up taking the clown out with that and bashing its brains in. And then he goes over, and he sees the controller that they're stuck up there. And he ends up doing the release thing on the bottom, and they end up coming down. And basically, they get out of it, and Wichita grabs a hold of him and hugs him, and that's finally when they finally get their kiss. So we get to see them kissing, and Little Rock's kind of like, oh, kind of like that. And it goes back to Columbus. He's like, yeah, you get that, sir. And so they end up going to find out where Tallahassee is after their kiss moment. And he's in one of the things looking for a Twinkie again. And he's like, he's going to town. He's breaking everything. He's like, wow, that is false advertisement. And he's like breaking crap and all this kind of stuff. And Columbus is like, his like how he does his thing. And he's like, and like, oh, well, we got each other, blah, 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 this kind of stuff. And so they end up, deciding to get back together and go their merry ways. And as they're heading out to the truck, that's when Little Rock throws a Twinkie to Mr. Tallahassee, and he's all in love and enjoy, and he's eating his little Twinkie. And they end up, getting into the car and then driving off into the sunset, and that's how the movie ends. Now, there is a post-credit scene if you did not watch through the credits.
I did.
There is post-credit scenes in this movie with Bill Murray, and it shows him at this, he's having a press conference for Garfield, but it's supposed to be a new Garfield movie that he hasn't done yet. And that's when the zombie attacks start happening, and he has to fight up zombies, kills a few, and then that's when he makes his way to his mansion. So if you didn't see that, go back and watch it. It's freaking hilarious. It's such a great little cameo. But little quote for you guys out there, a little info for you guys. That Twinkie that Woody Harrelson eats in the movie is actually a vegan Twinkie they made for him just for the movie, because he is a vegan himself. And he wouldn't eat anything. He wouldn't eat a real Twinkie, so they had to make actual real Twinkie, make a real Hostess wrapper, and put it into it. So all the different takes they had made special ones just for him because of his dietary restrictions. So I think that was awesome when they do that for the different cast members when they have to do scenes with certain foods. So it was funny to hear that he wouldn't eat a real Twinkie, and I'm like, damn it, a real Twinkie tastes so much better than that piece of shit, probably. But anyways, he still had a Twinkie in the movie, which was really funny. All right, so folks out there, final thoughts on the end part of this film. What were you guys' thoughts? What did you enjoy? What did you dislike, or just your overall thoughts? And if you watch the Bill Murray little post-credit scene, talk about that too. Start with you, Andreas.
All right, I just checked my Peacock. Well, actually, I checked the Peacock I'm sharing with Jeff, and I saw the post credit scene. Uh, it's different. It's still the scene from the movie, and it's just Bill Murray saying gibberish to Tallahassee, which is funny. So I guess we have different post credit scene we saw. I was shocked that we have a post credit scene, but then again, this is like after Iron Man. Now everything's post credit scene. Why are we having these? It's too much for me. Anyway, we don't need this in movies. I'm fine with superhero films.
Yes, we do. We always need post credit scenes.
Oh yeah, like the Master of the Universe. I'll be back. I'm like,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Marvels, they've got Thanos in there.
Oh my god. Please, just one more week. Why do we have to bring in the Marvels in this review? Anyway.
Because it's Jeff.
Yeah, this is your fault, Jeff. Stop. I know you like Brie Larson. Just admit to it. Okay, I know you love her. I know you like her. You like her.
I do. I used to have the poster up. Remember Cyber? I used to have the Captain Marvel poster.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, this third act is so much fun. As we're discussing now. Sorry. I'm just losing my mind. I'm like post credit scene. Oh my god. Marvels. Oh my god. Anyway. The third act is awesome. I think the setting on the carnival was really great touch. I mean, first off, I love the action scene where Dallas just goes around and just use the environment for him to just defeat the zombies. That's really awesome. Like that's so cool. That's something I definitely want to do it, but there's a zombie apocalypse. But anyway, I'll probably not do. But yeah, it was great. I mean, the zombie clown thing was just good. I think it made sense for him to face his fear, which is great. But I'm shocked, Cyber, you didn't bring up the part where well, I mean, I'm gonna bring it up, but anyway, the Twinkie when they're in the store. I think what was it? Like Columbus was scared from that noise, whatever, and he shot one of the doors. And when they opened the door in the store, the convenience store, whatever you call it, I knew something was gonna bad happen. And of course, the Twinkies. He found the Twinkies being shot by Columbus the second time Columbus did something stupid, and the reaction by Tallahassee was so funny. It's like, oh my god! And come on, you should be pissed on him. And the fact he say I'm sorry, all that, it's just like, no, dude, you killed Bill Murray. You destroy his livelihood of Twinkies. It's like, come on, dude. It's just like, what is wrong with you, Bill? But no, in the end, I was like, yes, he got his Twinkie. It's like so perfect. One of the best payouts for the gag. This is awesome. But yeah, the ending is great. It's awesome. It's action packed, and yeah, just a whole lot of fun. The zombies are great. I mean, the makeup is really good. I mean, nothing too major. They were like we didn't talk about this, but it's not like a major thing in Zombieland. But the zombies are like in between, like the fast zombies of 28 Days Later, and then a mix of Dawn of the Dead, and then like to your traditional like zombie makeup, before The Walking Dead became a thing, the year later. So their designs are really good. I like the small details, at zombies. I like the origin of them being like a cow flu. That makes sense because that was a thing back in In some certain countries like the UK, that's how they inspired 28 Days Later. So anyway, love this movie. It's a top tier zombie film. I think it's my top five. If we ever do like a zombie ranking, like this is like I mean like oh my god, like number one is like 28 Days Later for me. Two, Day of the Dead, the 1985, and then four, the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead. Five will be Shaun of the Dead, and then six I put Zombieland for this sixth place. So I think this is a good top tier zombie film. But yeah, I highly recommend it, guys. Watch it. It's a great film.
So that if that's 6, it wouldn't be top 5, sir. It'd be top 10.
Yeah, it's my bad. Top 10. Thank you.
There
So,
we go. There
thank
we
you.
go. Good.
Anyway.
Good job. Good job. 6 minutes. Yeah. Same question, sir.
I love the the ending. It's I don't want to say it's deflating, but like it serves its purpose. The action is pretty good. The Woody Harrelson shooting all the different guns and everything and whatnot is really great. I really enjoyed that part. That part's really fun. You shoot machine guns and everything and whatnot and everything and all this shit and whatnot, you know, like all these different objects off these rides, right? Like that part was really cool. I liked seeing you know, them finally kiss. That was really cool, you know, and that they ended up coming together at the end, like a family. And you know, I'll have to go watch Zombieland 2 now. But I'll give the film a solid 9.5. It's a good film. I'll give it a 9.5.
All right, Andres.
Yeah, okay, my rating. Same with Jeff. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's a great film. But yeah, it's up to you.
All right. Thank you. I'll give it a solid 10. This is one of my favorite all-time zombie films. Absolutely love it. And just the comedy alone. I mean, the cast alone, I love. Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, Evan Go-Breslin, all four of them together was so much fun. And I just really have always enjoyed this film since I saw it. And I could talk about this film forever. It's just such a great film. And I think there's a lot of great heart to this film too, as well, because it's not just your classic zombie film. That's what I loved about it, is that they put a lot effort into the writing, and that's where Rhett and Rennick come in. They're fabulous, amazing, fantastic writers, and their comedy genius comes through always beautifully. And that's how I felt this movie came across, just like the Deadpools did. Really well done. But yeah, 10 for me. So a 9 and a 9.5 from those two. And so that is the review, folks. As always, you guys are awesome. We love you guys. And I will turn it over to Jeff to take us out.
All right, Andres, pop culture guy. What's up? What's the deal?
All right. Hello, folks. I'm Andreas, pop culture guy. Today, I have up to 837 subscribers. Recently, last Halloween, yesterday, I post a Blade vs. Predator review. Today, I'm going to post my top Chucky films rank. I'm working on it now, so it's really good. Check it out soon. I'll be posting in the next 20 or 15 minutes. And just check out our live stream for the Chucky reviews of season 3. As I mentioned before, we'll be back in next year. But next Sunday, me and Jeff are going to review 28 Days Later for our live stream movie review. And then plan some more. So thank you guys for supporting me in Cyber. Please help us, reach the mark. So far we're almost there. We're almost done with the year, folks. We're in November now, which is crazy. So please help us. And just bottom of my heart, thank you so much for supporting me.
Cyberneticshark, sir, there you are.
All right, folks, as always, at 7:07 still. So, still got a few ways to go. So definitely get those subscribe-ins to help us get to that 1,000 mark by the end of the year. We got 2 months left of the year. So let's get that out there. And also don't forget, some gift cards could be coming your way if you subscribe to us. Oh. And of course, definitely check me out if you enjoy me here moderating or on the panel here. Definitely check out my solo content underneath Cyberneticshark. As you can see there, my most recent review there, The Creator, really fantastic film. You should definitely check that out. Gareth Edwards is a fantastic director. He directed Rogue One, and he directed the crap out of that new film, The Creator. It was really well done. And my review of Killer of the Flower Moons will be up tomorrow. Around 3 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely check that out too. If you have not seen it yet, if you want to see a review on it, or if you have, see what my thoughts were. Really fantastic film, and really was enjoyable to make that review for it. Also, you'll be seeing soon my Slaughterhouse review, my ranking of the expendable films. So keep an eye out for those and stuff like that, and more to come, people. So yeah, let's get us to that 1,000 mark, people.
Cyber, you cranked out a lot of shorts, buddy.
Yeah. I do between 2 to 3 a day.
There you go. All right, folks. We really appreciate all of you out there. Thank you for getting us close to 40,000 subscribers. It'd be nice to try to hit that mark by the end of the year. I don't know if we will, but it'd be nice if we do. We'll see what happens. Either way, that's Zombieland for the MCU'S Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. I'm this pop culture guy up in the corner. Cyberneticshark. We out of here. Peace. We love you.
And then, of course, Friday we'll be reviewing Loki's episode 5, and season 2. And then, of course, next Wednesday we'll be reviewing The Godfather Part 2.
Godfather Part 2, baby.
And then the following Friday will be the season finale of Loki, season 2. So if you haven't watched, come on by and check it out, people. We got a lot more coming for you guys. We'll be having, of course, this Infinity Saga reviews coming back to finish those out. We have just a few more to finish so that we're done with that. And keep on coming back. Hit that subscribe button and watch. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Cyber. I appreciate you, man. You heard him, folks. Subscribe, motherfucker. Infinity Saga review series almost over. Peace. We out of here.
Bring the band in.